Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I'm running some T6 Abyss on Tranquility, and this is a perfect wave to just start off with. A Marshal wave, one that everyone keeps crying to me about, that it is too hard. Guess what guys, it's not really that hard at all actually. All you just have to do is bling your ship enough, and then you'll do fine. You'll do fine. I've actually blinged this Gila quite a bit, and it really has no issues at all with the Marshal wave, but you know, that's the thing. If you pay a lot, that's the results you get. So I've had quite a bit of issues actually with the Marshal wave in more cheaper Gila fits, so I definitely see it being a very troubled or very hard wave for many abyssal ships. When it comes to the T6 Abyss, this is actually now me running on Tranquility, so I've been always showing you guys on the tester before, right? But now I'm actually doing on Tranquility, and the ISK is really good. However, I can say some things though. Some things I can say. It was not as good as I expected in the first few runs I've done. I've done so far. This is my 9th filament doing, and they've actually not been that particularly good. I thought it was going to be better, but it wasn't as good as I thought. I think it just has to do with bad luck, because I was getting the same amount of ISK per site as I was from just regular bog standard T5 filaments. So I was just thinking, what, did I take the wrong filament or something? Am I using a T5 filament? No, I am using the cataclysmic exotic filament. That is what I was doing, and it was just still giving me consistently really bad ISK. But then I came to the last 2 of those 8 sites. Then the ISK started rolling in. One of them I got 200, one of the second one I got like 130 million. So that is what I've been usually getting, because on the test server, when I've been doing, I've done many T6 testing on the test server, a lot more than I have on Tranquility. And the thing is, on the test server, I've noticed it being a really good ISK. Consistently over 100 million ISK for each run, like very rarely under 100 million ISK. But for some reason on Tranquility, it was not the case. I was getting often like 70, even some like 50 million runs. Like, what the heck? This is worse than T5 to some extent. That was just, it seems like it was just an RNG streak. Maybe, let's see if it'll be the same case here or not. The T6 exotic is something that seems to be quite optimal for the Gila. There are other ships that I think have a possibility to do the other filaments, but since I've always really stuck to the Gila, this is what I'm running right now. However, it definitely could be viable to use a different type of ship actually. Some other ships that seem to be definitely possible in the T6 Abyss are the Ishtar, or is the Ishtar, because the Ishtar, it has a really high DPS. You can achieve very high DPS with the Geckos, like over 900, even 1k DPS if you've got like a very good DPS fit. And that is something that I definitely see possible for like T6 Firestorms or the T6 Gammas, in fact, because the Gammas will allow the Ishtar has a big problem with it if you go shield boosting, because if it has shield boosting, it'll have a very little buffer, and it'll be very easy to bleed into structure actually, and that can be a big problem, because I have actually done some testing and I have many times bled into armor just because the alpha strikes are so big, because this Ishtar's got such a tiny shield. But if you go with the Gamma size, then you'll have a bigger buffer, so it definitely is possible right there. But that's something that is really safe about the Gila. You got that massive buffer. It's got more than double the amount of shields as the Ishtar, so that's really good actually. The Gila, just overall, it feels very reliable. However, it can't achieve as good DPS as the Ishtar, so that's something just to keep in mind. So that's why it seems like almost everyone who does these T6 filaments in a Gila does exotics just like this, and that seems to also, my theory is that is also why they are quite expensive, these filaments, because these filaments go for like 20-30 million ISK, these exotic filaments. It's not like a cheap filament like a Firestorm, which is hardly cost anything. They're really nice to have those Firestorms that cost basically nothing, but can't really it's pretty difficult to get those T6s actually in the Firestorms for the Gila, just because of the DPS constraints. I've got some of these Rodivas right here, and they're repping like crazy, and I have to return my drones actually just to speed this up a bit. See, I got Tachyon Cloud. That's really useful to have these Tachyon Clouds when you're trying to get these bioadaptive or extraction nodes, just because it's like a free MWD almost. You get that speed boost going at over almost 3k a second. It's really nice. The loot so far doesn't seem to be that particularly good. If I've got a filter here, 40 million, and this is the second room. So if we were to average this out, then it would be like 60 million. If we were to do the whole site, that would not be good, maybe 70. I hope that it starts to become better, because this doesn't look good. I really want to have, like, I'm using a ship that's worth so much. I shoot, and it feels like I'm barely getting any more than standard T5s, at least in this run here. Those previous 2 runs I told you about, they were, however, a lot better. Let's take out these Rodivas. Those were, oh, my Vespa's taking a lot of damage. No! How did it take so much damage so quickly? Must have been like tangling or something. Let's approach them just so that it can go a bit quicker. The Vespas are really nice because they've got the HP and the shields, so you don't have to worry about them like not recharging, because when it comes to infiltrators, you have that armor. That's where the most of their HP is pooled in, so often they'll bleed into armor, and because of that, they'll have permanent damage throughout the whole abyssal site. You won't be able to repair them. Meanwhile, the Vespas, most of their, like, crap blue, what is that, 1 million? And then the Vespas, they have most of their HP in the shields, so it'll take a long time to get through those shields, and the shields is obviously recharged, so it's very useful. Kind of wish there was almost like some kind of in drone bay armor repair unit of some sort. You could obviously go with a remote armor repair unit. That's definitely a possibility as well, but unfortunately we don't have that actually. Okay, let's take out this Rodiva, and time is looking pretty good actually. 12 minutes. And we've even got the minus 50% kinetic resistance. So it's going slower than it can be going faster than this actually. Okay, let's kill this guy. There we go. And shoot these 2 Damaviks, or 3 Damaviks over here. Okay, take out this one over here. Should be really simple. The exotics, I feel like they have a bit of a different sound effect actually. Or the background sound effect than the electrical abyss, because I've done so many electrical abysses, so I feel like they are slightly different, maybe just slightly different. Or it could be that they're quite I'm not really sure. It's just that I've been running also some firestorms recently, and I've just noticed that the background sound effects is actually a lot more different than the classical electrical ones I've been always doing. Let's go and see what we've got here. Oh, more Marshals, and we've got Thunderchild Disparrow Troop. Ooh, and we've got Blue Cloud here as well. That's quite dangerous actually. So we're gonna go for this Thunderchild first because he's got big alpha. Then we're gonna go for these Marshals over here because they have a high DPS. Because we can take out that Thunderchild very quickly. Look how little HP he's got. He'll almost die straight away. And we'll start shooting our missiles on these frigates over here just to get a little bit of extra DPS, you know. Go on, start destroying this Thunderchild. It's going very slow with that Thunderchild. Yeah, because he was very far away, that's why. Okay, and now we go and take out the Marshals. Simple as that. Okay, and now we shoot these pacifiers. The fit I'm using actually is a bit different to what I was using before. I've previously been actually using a dual shield boost fit, but I prefer to actually have this double multispectrum shield boost to fit, or this double multispectrum shield hardener fit. It feels really good having that buffer, because when you get these big alphas from the enemy ships, it can really hurt a lot, and you can sometimes bleed into armor just a little bit, and that for me does not feel nice. Having this like big armor or big buffer from the double multispectrum shield hardeners really feels a lot safer actually. Let's go to the loot caches now actually, because a lot of the significant DPS is about to fall actually. Where is this one? This one is too far away. I'm using the Afterburner, so it's going to be, I'm not going to be able to take all the nodes actually, unfortunately, just because of the way it is. I could use a mobile tractor unit, but the mobile tractor unit really, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's an extra thing to think about, and also like sometimes it's just a bit faster for me to just go to this extraction node because it's on the way towards the transfer conduit or the origin conduit. Start shooting with the missiles on this marker pacifier Disparrow troop. There we go. Okay, have the drones go on the enforcers. So you saw there those the Stormbringer or the Edencom wave. Not that hard at all actually. It's obviously easy for me to say because I got a very bling ship, but what I'm saying is if you do bling enough, the Edencom wave isn't too much to fear. You did see though for a few seconds that my shields did go down like maybe to 40 or 60% or something like that. So it's not like they do nothing, but they're definitely possible, at least, because some people seem to have the impression that these income waves are impossible. That's not the case, I guess. I've done a lot of these. I've never died to an income wave in a T5. I almost died once in a T4, but it just had to do that my ship fit. It was just not that as powerful as my T5 fit. My T5 fit electrical Gila. It just slaps the income waves really hard, and it doesn't seem. I've done multiple of those 8, like 30 mil. That's sort of decent. Of those 8 T6 filaments I did before, I did get 1 or 2 Concord spawns, and it went really smooth actually. Okay, let's shoot this extraction subnode. This one is quite close. This 50 kilometer one is a bit too far away, I think. You see that time is pretty good. I'm finishing it in just over 13 minutes. I'll say it's really good for T6. It's at 1-2 minutes slower than the T5s, but that's kind of expected. Overall, I'm really happy so far. The sites I've been running, the T6s, I've never had any real issues with time actually. Time has been really smooth, really nice. The Gila just seems to handle the exotics really well. It's just unfortunate because it seems like it's very difficult to do the... Let's just get this extraction node over here while we're at it. We've got spare time. May as well use up as much of the filament cost as possible. Let's go there. But the Gila seems to just have such a good time in these sites. It doesn't seem to at all be any issue. It's really the firestorms. I'd love to be able to run the firestorms, but time is just too rough. It's just too rough. The amount of stuff you need to kill is just too high because of those increased armor buffers. It makes the waves like rogue drone battleships and Triglavians just take way too long. Triglavians, on the other hand, they're not particularly long because they have naturally pretty low thermal resistance, so they become pretty squishy when it comes to doing thermal resistance. Like if I'm doing thermal resistance, then the weather effect is also negating thermal resistance, and they have low thermal resistance. It's going to be pretty decent. But then again, they have that 50% bonus to armor, so I don't notice a huge difference in the site completion time of the Triglavians, but it's still not particularly fast actually. Sometimes from these extraction nodes right here, I can get so much. I can get 10, 15 million just from one of these, and then sometimes, like you guys saw before, I can maybe just get 1 million. It's very depressing sometimes. So usually I wouldn't like when it came to my T5 running before, I never really liked the idea of spending time just to get the loot nodes like I'm doing now. But since I'm doing very high tier abyssal filaments and the filament price costs a lot, I kind of want to just use up the filament as much as possible, just so I can make full utilization of it. And also, since it's a T6 filament, it's obviously going to give more than a T5 one, so I have to also consider that and take that into consideration, because I can expect to get more from these. I can just open this up and get a whopping 3 million. Okay, let's go into the origin conduit. That's pretty much it. Let's just see how much we actually got from this site. I've actually got some. This value of the the inventory is not actually what I've got, because I've got some boosters in there. Since we're in the T6 filament, I just wanted to be a bit safe and just put these boosters here, just in case I would ever need it. I'm not a big advocate of boosters because I don't like the idea of having to rely on them. I personally speaking like to just rely on being able to overheat. That really just gives you so much tank anyway, so I don't really see much of a need of these guys. But I just had them just in case. I've got this filter here. So 91 million. I mean, it's okay. It's a good T5 run, but I'd say it's a little bit below average for a T6 run. I prefer to have at least 100 million for a T6 run. That's at least what I've been getting very consistently on the test server, so I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to get it here. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. RNG is the name of the game. Alright, T6 filament done. There we go. A new type of filament that I've been trying out on Tranquility now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video right here, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.